Guys, this is by far the best that Talion has felt. Which is wild, because the last time out, I destroyed it. When I first bought this truck, I was really careful to do everything right. I was familiar with the common success headaches, so I tightened every screw, topped off all the fluids, and made sure that the diffs were shimmed properly. And even then, I was getting annoyed by simple issues like stripped screw headaches. To put it bluntly, the first time running this truck was pretty underwhelming. After all of that effort to get the truck perfect, my expectations were through the roof, and I was really irritated with how this truck was performing. It felt like it was failing to deliver on the promises Arrma had made. My first pack in the shale pit had me put the truck back in my trunk pretty quickly. I had plenty of other cars that day that were feasting on this surface, but the back end of the Talion just kept wanting to go sideways. I was well aware of the feedback on the guitars and their limiting nature, but was skeptical that a tire could really be responsible for so much. Committed to getting this vehicle where I wanted it to be, I made a few adjustments, got it back out, and was starting to establish a little bit of confidence. I had literally just done the tire swap that people recommended and could start to feel some meaningful differences in the truck. Then, whack.
Well, guys, I exploded against a sign that I didn't see.
We nailed a sign on a high-speed run, and it was out of commission. Candidly, I was staring at a lot of work to even be able to drive this thing again. At this point, this was little more than a pile of parts. Hard to believe in its current state, but you are going to see this thing in the 70s by the end of this video. The bench actually looked like a hurricane had hit, and the little bit of confidence I was gaining instantly evaporated. If I'm being honest, I wasn't sure if this truck would ever become something I was enthusiastic to go drive again, or if it was just going to find its way to the back of the closet. I decided that if I was going to repair the truck, I was going to do it right, and doing that meant we were going to bypass some stock replacements. Though we could have gone for OEM parts, I wanted to do everything I could at this point to help reestablish that confidence we were starting to gain. We added a stronger chassis. We gave steering a big boost. We got the backflips back on, and enough for place to have some hope again. Several of these upgrades are going to be winners behind the scene, and one of them is going to be the star of this redemption story.
Are we good to go? Oh man, we are good to go. Talion's ready to rip here today.
There's a really good chance the skate park is the last place we should be trying to rebuild confidence. Not only is that precisely why we're here, that's also what makes this the perfect place to actually restore our confidence. This is where the chassis and replacement parts matter. if I could guarantee you one thing in this section of the video, it would be that this concrete is guaranteed to find any lingering weak points. And while I'm not expecting the Talion to be invincible, I am pretty confident I don't need to worry about every bad landing. We're not pulling anything too crazy yet, but it does feel quite good off of these little pops off these jumps. Steering feels way more authoritative now. The backflips are far from a perfect concrete tire, but they're making these landings feel really smooth. Honestly, my only concern with these tires at this point is how long they're going to last on this surface. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Not every landing out here is pretty, but not pretty still isn't breaking everything, which is a relief. Man, guys, I've been pretty apprehensive about how this truck is going to feel after we got it all put back together. And I've got to say, I'm pretty encouraged based off of how the skate park's going so far. Air control feels good. The thing loves to find its feet. And I feel like I'm really enjoying using this truck for the first time, and that's a huge relief. Okay, clearly we're starting to get some confidence and starting to feel a little differently about the truck now. This is the type of sending I was really hoping to be showing you a lot earlier in this thing's life. Well, this is already going a lot differently than the last time out. Within our first couple of packs, the Talion had been little more than a pile of parts served with a whopping side of frustration. Our changes are holding up well. I'm particularly impressed with this M2C chassis. The additional thickness gives a lot of confidence, and I can't help but believe the modified shape is giving some favorable weight distribution over stock. Since you're still watching, you're not going to want to miss what we have planned next. Make sure you like and subscribe. Now let's let it breathe. The skate park told us we were finally back on the right track. But this was never advertised as a stunt truck. Arrma's called it a speed basher, and we needed space to be able to open it up.
All right, guys, we're going to start off hitting some speed tests. I want to make sure that we're getting closer to that 75. I think we're in pretty good shape. Okay, because my recording setup is a little bit janky, I'm going to have to just kind of deal and see. Oh, that's an old recording there. Okay, we're tracking, and it's working properly. All right. Let's see what we get. Here we go. Full throttle. Okay. Here's the car. There we go. Hit 70. It did cut out a little bit there at the end, so let's see if we can avoid that here this time around. Here we come. That was a good run right there. Let's come on back around, go this direction. That one got a little wonky. Definitely getting up on those pizza cutters a little bit. Can get on it pretty good. Okay, let's check that out. $70 again.
Now we're going to set this animal loose in its natural habitat. The truck is finally starting to deliver.
Obviously, we got wheel speed for days. This thing can hydroplane all over the place. This is pretty stinking fun. That was a really good one right there.
And inspire confidence, it does. Full send through a puddle, no hesitation. There's no way I would have had the confidence to do this in the first couple of packs. We're forgetting about those days pretty quickly around here.
One more for good measure. Oh, come on.
The MTC chassis is serving as a great, really stiff backbone. The upgraded servo is giving it more of the steering twitch I like. But ultimately, the 6S backflips are what make the truck finally feel alive.
Wild to be getting air off of that.
There are people who claim the 4S backflips are better. They're out of stock everywhere. When I can find them again, I'll test those too. Now that we're feeling confident, it's a lot easier to let it rip.
This feels so much easier to control with these tires, man. It is crazy. So slightly rougher terrain, and things change pretty dramatically.
Air control is outstanding,
That was fun.
aided by the additional rotational mass and lack of belting in the backflips.
We're gonna give that another one. Good thing we got waterproof electronics. Okay. This thing is climbing among my favorites real quick. We're gonna hit it hard this time. I mean, it makes that feel easy. It does have a tendency, I think it's the ESC fan, to allow some little rocks to get down in there. Sounds kind of alarming when it's on its back on terrain like this, but doesn't typically last too long. Whew. Got it just far enough. Yeah, we're definitely giving that M2C chassis a workout today. Getting some good hits. This is a pretty abrupt launch angle for something with this long of a wheelbase. That is so fun. Oops. That was a good one. Kinda can't believe I didn't land. Can we front flip? Let's see.
And high-speed stability off-road is unmatched in a truck this scale. I have two vehicles that make this pass look smoother than this, the XRT and the 5T, but both of those are substantially larger with a higher propensity for soaking up these bumps. The 6S Creighton, on the other hand, is absolutely no match for the type of stability this truck offers.
Honestly, the wet just helps it stay on its tires. We're dry enough for these things to be locking up. Does it make it better or worse? I don't know that it's a matter of that necessarily. But I don't know if I could roll this right now if I tried without hitting something. Got close there.
Full disclosure before we talk verdict. I really wanted to deliver in this video. I wanted to be able to speak with confidence. A lot of this video was shot over a span of several weeks, rebuilding the truck, getting comfortable with it, multiple sessions to the skate park, multiple sessions to the open area, and finally cultivating the confidence just to let it fly. I wasn't going to call this truck redeemed until I believed it for myself. So, is the Talion redeemed? For me, yes. Not because one upgrade fixed everything, but we managed to get it to a point where it feels trustworthy, and it was about making it one of the first trucks I reached for, and it now is absolutely that. With the new chassis, the perfect pass servo, the backflips, and a whole lot of time behind the trigger, it finally feels like the truck I always wanted it to be. And man, I can't wait for what's next. Keep coming back for the next chapter in this story. And I think you'll like this video.